Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So, I told you motherfuckers. I told you. Miles Turner's #1 hater and the guy who knows nothing about basketball told you this was going to happen. That we need another 20-point per game scorer. And what have the Pacers front office done? They have gone and contacted the Toronto Raptors about Pascal Siakam. So, now the question is, do we even fucking do this? Is this even a smart idea? I will say this, okay? It's not often that you get to trade for a guy who's a two-time All-NBA player, two-time All-Star, solid defender, solid offensive player with championship experience, okay? That does not happen every day. And the Toronto Raptors seem to be more willing than ever to part with him. Now, being that the Atlanta Hawks just signed DeJounte Murray to that big contract, I feel like they're out of the running now for Pascal Siakam. Like, I feel like that ship has now sailed. So that leaves us in the Orlando Magic. And while I do think Pascal Siakam would make us an immediate playoff team, no questions asked, I think to myself, on the flip side, is Pascal Siakam the piece we really need? Like, is he the one that makes us a championship contender? No. Like, does he put us in the conversation? Yeah, it'll be fun to talk about at the barbershop, but, like, let's be honest. Like, the Bucks would still be better than us, I feel. The Celtics are a team that is arguably still better than us. Another team like Miami, if they land Damian Lillard, I think they're automatically better than us if that happens. Like, I don't think it's enough to put us over the top. And when you consider also the idea that Pascal Siakam next offseason is up for a Supermax deal, like 5 years, $290 bills, I'm like, do we really want to do that? Like, is this the guy that we really want to go after? Don't get me wrong, 24 points per game would be ideal for our situation. And it's nice as a fan to see that the front office is being aggressive. They're going after the guys that they want. They're going after the guys that even the fan base wants, which is great. But I think to myself, man, like, I think we need a wing. Like, honestly, after watching Jarris Walker's first Summer League game, now, granted, as I said in the past, I don't like to put a whole lot of stock in Summer League games because, most of our guys are playing against people who will never touch an NBA floor in the regular season ever in their fucking careers. But from what I saw, I was like, you know what? We could keep Tyrese. We could keep Benedict Mathurin. We could keep Jarris Walker. Miles Turner, for all I care, could itch his balls underneath the basket for the rest of his fucking career as a Pacer, and we would be fine. Like, we've shored up our defense at this point, okay? With Bruce Brown Jr., drafting Jarris Walker, Tyrese Halliburton's a solid defender. We still have McConnell and Nesmith coming off the bench. Like, I'm at a point now where it's like our starting five defense is good enough to be I would put us in the top 10 in defense. Like, at this point, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think our squad is locked in defensively at this current point. But I think what we really need is like a wing. Like, and I get that Pascal Siakam is maybe the more immediate effect, but like, DeMar DeRozan's out there, Paul George is probably out there, OG Anunoby's probably out there, Brandon Ingram maybe not so much, but like I just think to myself, like, I feel like we really need a wing. You know what I'm saying? Oh my fucking God, please don't. They call every single fucking day, and they don't say anything. So it's just the idea, like, I think we need a wing. Like, that's like a wing that can get us 22. That's what we need. A 3-and-D wing that can get us 22 a game. And there's only a handful of guys in the NBA that fit that bill. And I honestly think, like, I honestly feel like the Clippers would maybe give us Paul George for the right price. I understand there's fans that don't want Paul George because of injury concerns and stuff like that, but like, we're at a point now where it's like, Paul George don't even got to play the whole regular season, man. Like, Paul George could play 40 fucking games for us and we'd be fine. Okay? Like, he don't got to play back-to-backs. Paul George could just come out, play every other game. As long as we have him during the postseason, that's what I think matters. So, I understand why people don't want Paul George, but at the same time, for me, as a Pacers fan, knowing what he did in Indiana, and now he would have, like, the ideal squad around him, I'm like, it almost makes too much sense not to do. And Tyrese Halliburton's podcast with him just went up today, and they were talking about how much they enjoyed sitting next to each other at All-Star Weekend this past year. So, I just think to myself, man, like, that's what we need the most. And Pascal Siakam's a solid player. Don't get me wrong. I think if we, part of me as well, like, thought about this. What I feel like, because Pascal Siakam's not tall. Okay, I don't, as much as I dislike Miles Turner, am I willing to give up 3 inches at the center position? No. Okay, like, I'm not. Giggity. I'm not willing to give up Miles Turner's height and his presence at the basket for Pascal Siakam. Even though it feels almost like a Golden State Warriors feel that we would be going for. When you consider the idea of Tyrese and Ben and Jarris Walker, and then Kevon Looney's like 6'9", 6'8". He's about the same height as Pascal Siakam, only Pascal Siakam is a significantly better player than Kevon Looney. I think to myself, like, maybe that's what the front office is going for, like a small ball lineup that can shoot threes, get to the basket, and do whatever. And maybe it would work. You know what I'm saying? With Tyrese Halliburton at the helm, maybe it would work. But I just feel like we would have a way more solid team going after a 3-and-D wing that can easily get us 22 a game. That's what I think. And I'm not against it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not against going after Pascal Siakam because he's, at least the front office is being aggressive. Like, they're going after the guys they know the fan base wants. Like, they've inquired about OG Anunoby. They've inquired about Pascal Siakam. They fucking traded for Obi Toppin. Like, every guy we've been talking about in like online and stuff like that, about guys that we've been linked to, guys that we want, the front office appears to be trying to get them. So it's just the idea, like, even Karl Anthony Towns is out there. Like, Karl Anthony Towns is a guy that the Timberwolves are definitely looking to move now that they signed Anthony Edwards to 5 years, $260 million. Trust me, they're looking to get rid of Cat now. I just think to myself, I feel like if there's any position in the NBA you can get away with without, like, with having a guy who absolutely sucks at defense, it's the center position. As long as you have a guy who can score at the center position, you'll be fine. But I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but, like, in the grand scheme of things, offense always offsets defense. And in a league where, like, let's be honest, centers aren't really allowed to even touch anybody at the fucking basket, especially with the way Joel Embiid plays basketball, the free throw merchant. If you go in the paint and anybody even touches you, it's a fucking foul. So, like, that's why I feel like center is the one position that is easiest to get away with not having anybody good at defense at, because it's just like, even if they try to play defense, they're just going to get fouls anyway. So, but, on the flip side, I'm just like, I get why the front office is doing this. I understand it. It makes, in some ways, it makes a lot of sense. In other ways, it doesn't make any sense to me. But part of me is just kind of like, I'm at a point now where it's like, I saw Jarris Walker play in his first summer league game, and I'm kind of like, even if we just left this roster alone in the next 2 to 3 years, we're a bona fide playoff team anyway. And the other part of it is, like, does Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam being our 1-2 punch make us a championship contender? And I feel like the answer to that is no. As much as people maybe believe that it is, I just don't think it is. But you know what? Whatever the front office does, I guess I'll support the move if they do land Pascal Siakam. But because I know Buddy Hield is on an expiring deal. TJ McConnell's, like, we're paying him a lot of money to be a third string point guard now. Even Miles is a guy that we've been, like, hovering around the trade block for 4 years now. We'd probably have to give up a shit ton of draft picks, like, probably honestly anywhere from I think at least 3 first round picks to get Pascal Siakam, for not including Miles Turner or not including Jarris Walker. It's just like, it's kind of a slippery slope at the moment. And if the front office can acquire Pascal Siakam without having to give up Jarris Walker, I'm kind of all for that. I don't think they're going to give up Jarris Walker regardless, but it's just the idea. It's a very, very interesting day. And I'm just going to say this, okay, up front. If the Pacers front office is calling about Pascal Siakam, they're calling other teams about other players too. I'm just going to let you know that. So everyone's like, oh, we don't need... Like, I agree with you now at this point. After seeing Jarris Walker's first play-in game, summer league game, we don't need to trade Miles. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, Miles, like I said, can scratch his balls under the basket for the rest of his Pacers career, and it would be good enough. Like, especially with how well Jarris Walker plays defense, like, I don't care about what Miles does anymore. But only time will tell. But like from what I saw, I'm like, okay, this could work if we just give it time. But the front office is now like putting their foot on the gas. Like, we re-signed Tyrese Halliburton. That was the big thing for the offseason. Now we're going to go make blank. We're going to go make blank in the trade pool and see if we can bring in another star. So, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see what happens. But tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like, helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.